My name is Juan Luis Salazar. I'm from Guatemala. I'm the owner of La Coop Coffee. We are located in Manor Park, Brightwood neighborhood. We are been open for 4 months. We opened July 1st of 2020. I grew up in a coffee farm in Guatemala in a region called Huehuetenango. My parents own a small coffee farm, and since then I started learning about coffee and working with my dad and kind of like getting involved in the coffee industry since a very young age. The coffee shop came about when I moved to the States, and I went to a coffee shop and I saw that the price of a cup of coffee was as expensive as the same amount that a worker made in a day. It was a kind of like a turning point where I decided to, we have to do something in order to help the coffee farmers in Guatemala. Starting with the plantation, you have to dig holes, right, to plant one of the plants. But then you have like a 250 trees for a certain amount of area that will give you just a couple of bags that will sustain a family. But since you plant the coffee, it takes about 3 years to have the first harvest. First harvest that you can, call it successful. And after that, there is a harvest. It happens once every year, and sometimes or many times those plantations are very far from where the coffee is going to be prepared, ready for selling. And it takes a lot of work to take it from the farm to the milling place. And after that, it takes a couple of days from like when we take the skin, the skin of the bean, and then you have to wash it, dry it, and then package it. It takes like a week almost to do that, and a lot of work for one bag of coffee. That's only to have the coffee ready to sell, and then you have to find who to buy it from you, and then if that buyer is far from your house, you have to bring it there, either by mules, horse, car, pickups, whatever, trucks, and then it's going in a ship, and the ship comes about 2 months, 3 months later to the States. Yeah. I have to learn almost everything from zero to where we are now. I didn't know anything about this side of the business, as I mentioned before. I knew how to grow coffee. I'm an agronomist, which means that I knew how to, work in the plantation, but I didn't know how to do the business here, in this side of the business, which is like, importing the coffee first, store the coffee, where you store the coffee, how do you transport the coffee, what are the best ways to transport the coffee, where to roast, how to roast, like how can I acquire a roaster in a way that I can recover the money, and then how to install the roaster, where to install it. I spent like 2-3 years just basically investing in time, effort, and money in order to one day have something that I could do profitable. And so, it takes time, especially because I didn't know English either. So reading for me was, at the beginning tough. How to talk to people on the phone, like, getting advice as well, going to meetings and having so many questions because I didn't understand what they were saying. But at the same time, as immigrants, that you're in disadvantage and you have to put twice, 3 times, even 5 times more the effort than anybody else, and work harder than anybody else because you want the same opportunity. So that became, part of, my life for a couple of years, and that's how we end up here.